He was one of the first Italian actors who became an icon in Hollywood. A short-lived career that made him a legend in Hollywood, and even talked about around the world, even to today. Pioneering the style of being the Latin lover, which was adopted by many actors and actresses during in cinema throughout history. One of the best actors or best stars that had come overseas to be part of the American pop culture and even film industry. An action star that would mold in many characters from the Middle East to the Americas. This was Rudolph Valentino, and this is his basic biography. Early life. Rudolph Valentino was born on the 6th of May 1895 in Castellaneta in the Kingdom of Italy. His father was a soldier for the Italian army, and his mother was a French lady who was a housemaker or homemaker. They lived in Italy with his siblings. He managed to attend many schools whilst he was in Italy, and would get a certificate based on agriculture. Once he graduated from school, he managed to get jobs around Europe that he didn't get to pursue in his later life due to getting better chances and a good career in the United States, with some of the people in his country later on moving to the United States for a better opportunity and even good jobs. He moved to the United States during the 1910s, where he was able to work odd jobs just to get a better life, which most Italians were doing at the same time, even moving to the United States as well, just to fill most of the jobs that they had to offer, and even new opportunities for anyone outside the United States to fulfill. However, Rudolph Valentino worked in the restaurant industry as a waiter and even a cleaner. This was one of his first odd jobs, and even when he was moving to the United States or New York City, he even was spending time as a taxi driver for many people around the city. He even became an actor or a dancer based on his passion of being an actor in his early life at the same time. And this would be him, and then he would be trying to get into the silent film era, or the silent film industry, based on his acting skills. Yet he had to still carry on with his odd jobs before pursuing his acting career. Acting career. He slowly had confrontations with privileged people who were using his taxi service and would be involved in various problem solving for people that he knew, which ultimately had him fired from being a taxi driver and even had legal charges against him for crimes that he didn't commit and even crimes he did commit based on having arguments and debates with people who he took around the city. Whilst traveling around the United States to find a new job, he had his chances to use his acting skills and even his dancing skills to implement on stage whilst trying to be a stage actor. He spent time with different acting companies, even opera companies, just to perfect his acting skills and even looking to find a leading position for various stage productions. During the mid 1910s, he managed to get himself a stage lead in various stage performances around the California area, and he would be sometimes taking some screen time by working as an extra or a supporting actor in Hollywood at the same time. Many Hollywood executives were able to offer him a job based on his acting on stage and even working in various film industries. Later, being a lead in cinema, he slowly was getting into film and in the start of the silent film era. This was a change for him by playing a stage actor and even sometimes working as an opera singer or a silver screen actor. Whilst being a full-time silver screen actor, it would be helpful to see him around the world and even seeing people in a different eye, where he would be able to show his new acting styles based on his background, as well as dancing or being a new actor from an overseas country that would be able to become an overnight sensation. Hollywood heartthrob. The 1920s was the breakout decade that would give Rudolph Valentino a chance of being a Latin lover character on the silver screen. He would be playing more of a leading role and at this particular time, and even by showing his youngish style of acting and being a fearless hero or a dastardly villain, which the silent film era had in their arsenal. One of his first films that made him one of the greatest actors on the silver screen was called The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse in 1921, with many actors around the world even performing in this movie. He even continued his acting career in this particular in the same year, and would be playing more adventurer roles. Once he got himself a lead on his first film appearance, many women and even Hollywood fell in love with this man, and even due to playing the Latin lover character, as well as being a hero to many on the film production or the film studios in general. He had been able to get away with playing a villain sometimes, as this will be notable on his film credits. Due to having a potential of being a legend of the silver screen, Rudolph Valentino managed to get into another uh, famous film in the same year of his first appearance. This movie was called The Sheikh in 1921, where he would be able to mold himself to play a Middle Eastern character with a sense of an Italian actor um, playing a Middle Eastern star or a Middle Eastern king, which would become one of his greatest roles of all time. He kept starring in more movies based on adaptations of his characters on the silver screen that were around the world, and even being classed as a method actor of the silver screen rather than a straightforward actor that was given a script just to play a character only on the ways of the writer and or the director has set for them. Throughout the rest of the 1920s, he was able to get bigger and bigger with a chance to get awards for his performances. He was managed to play in another great film called Blood and Sand in 1922, with some time to travel around the world for his roles, and even other movies in the same decade of the 1920s. Personal life and final years. Rudolph Valentino was married twice and had no children. His first wife was Jean Eckler, and their relationship lasted from 1919 to 1923. And then he married Natasha Ramabova, with their relationship lasting from 1923 to 1925. He continued to act later on in his career, and even still had an enjoyment of dancing and sometimes going on tours as a dancer, whilst promoting films just to engage himself with his audiences. He managed to get many contracts from many production studios, with him being one of their flagship actors for romance or adventure movies, based on his acting skills as a lover, adventurer, and even now an action star. He was able to get a contract from the newly formed production studio that was created by fellow actors Charlie Chaplin and even Douglas Fairbanks, called United Artists. As he continued to make films or pretend to be in films as well, he was able to still star as the leading actor or the leading star. He would star in movies that were linked to historical dramas, adventures, and even going around the world, with most people looking at his signature characters. He even went back to one of his first signature characters, which was called the Sheikh, and even was able to star in it again and again in some appearances. Outside of Hollywood, he would spend time fencing and even going on various tours, with some time spent with working with actors to achieve awards for their movies and even his movies in general. Even sometimes promoting movies that will be coming out soon. The last film appearance he would be doing or would be appearing in was called The Son of the Sheikh in 1926, where he was able to reprise his role as the Sheikh and even play as the son of the Sheikh. Legacy and death. Sadly, Rudolph Valentino passed away on the 23rd of um, August 1926 at the age of 31. Just before his death, he would be having various health problems and would spend time in hospitals just to recover from many diseases, or even problems with his health and drinking. and even having time, having issues as well whilst being an actor. His legacy would live on even after his death, as his hometown would now become famous, with many actors and actresses and even people around the world visiting it each year. Plays and even movies have been made about this man when he was alive, and he was now one of the classed as one of the greatest actors in the world and even of all time. And sometimes having actors and actresses of the modern day being inspired by his style of acting. And these actors are, for example, Antonio Banderas, Leonardo DiCaprio, and even the great Franco Nero, who were able to were able to be inspired by the style of acting by the once great Rudolph Valentino in their characters on the silver screen. There has been many fashion brands inspired by the actor's name, and even scientific diseases or scientific breakthroughs named after Rudolph Valentino. Even music videos and music have been made with his name or inspiration based on his movies being linked to each song. But nowadays, his films are being shown around the world, and some have now been lost. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. My name is Suki Cookie, and thank you for watching.